Hello everyone, welcome to week 9-1. It is being called on the e-learning site, but this week's class is an online makeup class for week 15. So today's class is going to be a little bit shorter than other classes, and your assignments are going to be a little bit smaller as well. We'll be talking about Unit 40 in the textbook, getting around. So as I said, this class is a makeup class for week 15. Originally, this class had been scheduled for a Saturday. However, my department has told me that we're not doing the classes on a Saturday now, so we have to reschedule those for an online class. So, you will have until May 29th to complete the assignment. And as I said before, today's assignment will be a little bit shorter than usual. Again, everyone, please check your file before you upload it to the e-learning website. So just like the usual classes, some parts you may need to pause if we are doing one of the assignment parts. Today also we have some listening, so maybe you want to rewind the video a little bit. And for today's class you will need your textbook and the two handouts on the e-learning site. Today's class assignment looks like this. You've just got to give 3 directions and write a very short answer to a question in part 2, and you have your PDF of all of the slides for today. Let's get started. The unit is titled The Best Way to Get There. So sometimes when we travel to a new city, it can be kind of difficult. We don't know where places are. We don't know how to get around. So we're going to look at ways to do that. So in today's lesson, we'll be thinking about the different ways visitors usually get around a city. We'll be looking how to give simple directions to popular locations in a city. We'll also look at a short video, the best way to get around in South Korea and especially in Seoul. And then we'll finish today by you talking about getting around your city. So, let's imagine everybody, we have booked a flight to Taipei and we don't know very much about the city, but we're going to be staying downtown in Taipei. So what are the options for us when we want to travel around the city? Now, I'm quite lucky because I did this 2 years ago, and I will tell you the main things that I did. So, first one, on foot. So I think it's a really good way for visitors to discover a city is to walk around. When I visit a new city, I always like to travel to places on foot. Now, that's not always possible because some places are very far away. So maybe people will use a subway. And certainly when I went to Taipei, they have a very, very good subway system, very, very easy to use. So that was one way that I travelled around. Another way some people travel around is by taxi. So when you're in a city, some places there's no subway station nearby, or maybe there's no bus to get you there. you have to take a taxi. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive, but sometimes you just have to do it. I mentioned there traveling by bus. Now, this is something I find quite difficult when I'm in another country. Traveling by subway is usually quite easy because everything is there for you on a map. But traveling by bus can be quite hard. You have to find the correct bus numbers and things like that. So this is something I don't do very often, but it is a way that some people would travel around the city. And some cities are set up very well to travel by bicycle. I know if you visit Seoul, you can hire bikes and you can cycle all around the city. I think this is especially popular round about the Han River. Also, in a lot of European countries, this is very popular. If you visit Amsterdam in the Netherlands, everybody is cycling around. So I think here there's 5 quite common ways that people might travel around a new city. So today we're going to focus on 2 ways of getting around the city: walking, so on foot, and by subway. So the first way we're going to look at is getting around on foot. So what you've got here, I'll put me up here actually, is a street map of a city. Now, this is going to be very important, the Royal Hotel, because this is where we're going to be giving directions from. And then we can see lots of other places in the city. We've got the Midland Bank, El Greco restaurant, McDonald's, we've got the Old City, Burger King, the Odeon Cinema is here, Eaton's department store, TV Tower. We can also see we've got some street names. We have North Street, Central Avenue, South Street, and then down here we've got West Street, Main Street, East Street, and then going right across here we have Broadway. So what we're going to be doing is listen to people talking about the location of places. So we're going to hear some visitors asking the information officer at the Royal Hotel how to get to some locations. So we're going to look at the map first of all, and we're going to try to find the railway station, City Hall, and the nearest pharmacy. So I want you to do this yourself, so maybe you can follow on the map, go left or go right, up, down. So we'll do it first. You're going to listen and follow on the map. Then after that we'll do it again and I will follow on the map, and let's see if we get to the same location. So everybody, we're starting here at the Royal Hotel. Follow the directions on the map.
Lesson 40. The best way to get there. A1. Listen to 4 people asking for directions.
Excuse me, how do I get to the railway station?
The railway station? Well, you just go out of the hotel, turn right, and when you get to East Street, turn right again. The station is 2 blocks down on your left. It's quite easy to find.
Thank you.
How do I get to City Hall?
City Hall? Well, you go out of the hotel, you turn left, and when you get to Main Street, you turn left again. Keep walking down Main Street, cross Broadway, and you'll see City Hall on your right. It's about 5 minutes walk.
Oh, thanks.
I need to find a pharmacy. Is there one near here?
Yes, you go out of the hotel, and you turn right, and there's a pharmacy on the right. If that one's closed, there's another one that's always open, day and night.
Where's that?
Okay, you go out of the hotel, turn left, and when you get to Main Street, turn right. The pharmacy is just round the corner on the right.
Where's
Okay.
the art gallery?
Well, it's a bit complicated. First, you go out of the hotel and turn right. And then when you get to East Street, you turn left and you keep going up East Street all the way until you get to North Street, right? And then you turn right and you take the second road on your right. The art gallery's at the end of that little road. You'll see a sign for it.
Okay, thanks.
It's open late this evening. Doesn't close till 10 p.m.
Oh, good, thanks.
Okay, sorry everyone, I forgot about the art gallery at the bottom. Now, hopefully, this will sound familiar to most of you, because we did study this last semester. We studied on ways to give directions, so I think a lot of this should be familiar. Phrases like go out and turn left, turn right. So let's see how well you did. So we had 4 places to find. Now I'm going to play the conversation again. You can follow my directions by following the mouse on the screen, and let's see if we got to the correct locations. So let's do it again.
Lesson 40. The best way to get there. A1. Listen to 4 people asking for directions.
Excuse me, how do I get to the railway station?
The railway station? Well, you just go out of the hotel, turn right, and when you get to East Street, turn right again. The station is 2 blocks down on your left. It's quite easy to find.
Thank you.
Railway station.
How do I get to City Hall?
City Hall. Well, you go out of the hotel, you turn left, and when you get to Main Street, you turn left again. Keep walking down Main Street, cross Broadway, and you'll see City Hall on your right. It's about 5 minutes walk.
Oh, thanks.
City Hall.
I need to find a pharmacy. Is there one near here?
Yes, you go out of the hotel, and you turn right, and there's a pharmacy on the right. If that one's closed, there's another one that's always open, day and night.
Where's that?
Okay, you go out of the hotel, turn left, and when you get to Main Street, turn right. The pharmacy is just round the corner on the right.
Nearest pharmacy.
Where's the art gallery?
Well, it's a bit complicated. First, you go out of the hotel and turn right. And then when you get to East Street, you turn left and you keep going up East Street all the way until you get to North Street, right? And then you turn right and you take the second road on your right. The art gallery's at the end of that little road. You'll see a sign for it.
Okay, thanks.
It's open late this evening. Doesn't close till 10 p.m.
Oh, good, thanks.
Here is the art gallery. So hopefully you got those first time around. If not, then hopefully following my directions made things a little bit easier. So, giving directions to guests is something that can be quite important, especially working in a hotel or in an tourist information centre. People get lost all the time. They want to know how to get to locations. So what we're going to do is listen to the conversation again, and I'm going to bring up the useful language that I think is the most important when giving directions. So let us play.
Lesson 40. The best way to get there. A1. Listen to 4 people asking for directions.
Excuse me, how do I get to the railway station?
The railway station? Well, you just go out of the hotel, turn right, and when you get to East Street, turn right again. The station is 2 blocks down on your left. It's quite easy to find.
Thank you.
How do I get to City Hall?
City Hall. Well, you go out of the hotel, you turn left, and when you get to Main Street, you turn left again. Keep walking down Main Street, cross Broadway, and you'll see City Hall on your right. It's about 5 minutes walk.
Oh, thanks.
I need to find a pharmacy. Is there one near here?
Yes, you go out of the hotel, and you turn right, and there's a pharmacy on the right. If that one's closed, there's another one that's always open, day and night.
Where's that?
Okay, you go out of the hotel, turn left, and when you get to Main Street, turn right. The pharmacy is just round the corner on the right.
Where's the art gallery?
Well, it's a bit complicated. First you go out of the hotel and turn right. And then when you get to East Street, you turn left, and you keep going up East Street all the way until you get to North Street, right? And then you turn right, and you take the second road on your right. The art gallery's at the end of that little road. You'll see a sign for it.
Okay, thanks.
It's open late this evening. Doesn't close till 10 p.m.
Oh, good, thanks.
Okay, so I think here this is the most important language, and we'll notice when they're giving the directions, they're keeping it nice and simple with short sentences. They're not giving a whole lot of information at one time. Nice short sentences with clear instructions. So go out of the hotel, turn right. When you get to East Street, turn left. It's 2 blocks down on your right. Cross Broadway. It's just around the corner. It's at the end of the road. So, especially when somewhere is close by, always try to keep the directions as simple as you can. You don't want to be giving any unnecessary information. Keep it nice and simple. Now, in the final conversation, the instructions were not simple. So sometimes if you're going to be giving a lot of directions, we'll notice that the man started by saying first, and you're kind of preparing the person for a long list of directions. So when we do this, first you do this. We could use other words like next and then. And again, this is quite useful because it splits the directions into nice stages, makes it easier for the visitor to understand. So all of these I think are going to be very important for our first part of the assignment. So in your assignment worksheet you have 3 questions. So you are going to again start at the Royal Hotel, and you are going to give some directions to Eaton's department store. So from the Royal Hotel to Eaton's department store. Then from the Royal Hotel to the Odeon Cinema. So there is the Odeon Cinema. And then finally from the Royal Hotel to El Greco restaurant. So you have 3 places to find. Now is a good time to pause the video and you can write your directions in your assignment worksheet. Okay, so we've kind of dealt with people getting around the city on foot. For me, it's definitely the best way to travel around a new city. I love seeing the different types of buildings while I'm walking, and noticing different types of maybe smells, like different food and things like that. You can't really get that experience if you're in a taxi or on a bus. So certainly for me, walking is my favourite way to get around a new city. However, sometimes it's just not possible to walk. The place is just too far away. So another way that people will travel around the city is by subway, or maybe by train as well. But subway in kind of most large cities will have a subway. If I'm thinking well, if you go to Tokyo or Osaka or London, New York, Rome, Barcelona, they all have very good subway systems. Taipei as well, sorry, has a great subway. So we're going to watch a video of a man, and he's talking about traveling in Seoul in South Korea. Now, a lot of his experiences are similar to mine, and I completely agree with his opinion about the Seoul subway system. I think we are all very, very lucky to have such an amazing transport system that we can use every day. The subway is just so good, so easy to use, it's cheap, the trains are on time, it just works so well. And when I compare the Seoul subway to other cities, for example London, Seoul is just so much better, so much easier to use. Everything works really well. So we're going to listen to this guy, and he's going to give an explanation about his experience with the Seoul subway system. So let's watch the video.
I'm originally from Los Angeles, but I've traveled to New York, Hong Kong, Japan, and Korea, and my personal favorite subway has to be in Korea. It's cheap, trains are frequent and go anywhere you need, and it's simple to use. And if there's anyone who knows how to use Korea's subway, it would be me. That's because I've gotten lost more times on the subway than I can count while in Korea. So I'm pretty good at it. Now, usually. So let's take a look at the Seoul subway system, and I'll show you how to get around. 그럼 시작할까요? First of all, don't let the subway map scare you. Seoul has the largest subway system in Korea with 20 subway lines. But the only difficult part about using the map is finding what station you're at and what station you're going to. For this example, we'll go from Suwon Station to Gangnam Station. Put your finger on the map and follow the subway line until you reach the destination, kind of like a simple maze. And pay attention to any time you transfer to a different line. Each line is marked with a different color, so it's easy to spot a transfer. Depending on your trip, you might have a few different choices for how to get there. Once you've located a route, write down the number of stops you have to take and the stations that you need to transfer at, as well as the name of the lines. Or you can just download an app by searching Korean subway to do all of this for you. But that's not what this video's for. Next, you'll need to locate and enter the subway station. They are usually close to intersections. Just look for a covered escalator going downward. You can buy a ticket inside the station on one of the machines, but I really recommend just getting a transportation card instead. You can pick up a transportation card from any convenience store for just a few dollars. It'll save you a lot of time and money. You can charge it at a ticket machine and even use it to purchase snacks from vending machines. Once you've entered, follow the signs to the tracks. Trains run frequently, so there's no rush unless you're on a tight schedule. And there are trains running from around 5:30 a.m. until midnight. While you're waiting, pay close attention to the announcements. That voice will tell you the type of train it is and where it's headed, both in Korean and English. In Korean, you'll hear the name of the location, followed by heng, which means it's heading in that direction. Another thing that you might hear is kupeng, which means it's a more direct train route. And they're more direct because they skip less popular stations. Just look at the map to find out if where you need to go is one of those stations. When you're on the subway, there are a few things you should and shouldn't do. For one, don't eat or talk loudly. Instead, you can read a book and use your cell phone. And there are some seats you should avoid. Any seat marked 노약자 means that it's for people who are either disabled or elderly. And pink seats are reserved for pregnant women. But during rush hour, these seats will probably be filled. So if you're sitting down and you see someone who's elderly or pregnant standing up, you might want to give up your seat to them. They'll really appreciate it, and every Korean around you will instantly respect you. But if you're not sitting down, hold on to the handles above you so at least you don't fall over. Some subway trains are marked with a sign that says 약 냉방. This means weak air conditioning, and it means that the car isn't going to be very cool. So I always avoid them in the summertime. Once you're at your stop, you might find yourself getting pushed a bit or bumped. This is normal, so don't take it personally. So just go with the flow. Now before you leave the subway at your destination, look around for a neighborhood map. They're usually on the walls. They're useful for finding your way around once you go outside. And if you still feel a bit lost, try asking a Korean. You can even use English if you're polite and speak slowly. Koreans are really helpful in these situations, and they'll try to help you figure out where you need to go. But getting lost isn't that big of a deal, and it happens to everyone, including me. Just be perceptive to where you currently are, and you'll get to where you're going just fine. So I hope this video gave you a good introduction to the giant Seoul subway system. If you have any questions or comments, leave them for me below this video. And I want to say thanks to my Patreon supporters for helping me to create this video. I also have a special Patreon feed where I share behind the scenes content, as well as upload my weekly.
Okay, so what did we think about the video? So obviously that was the man's preferred method of transport when he was in Seoul, and for me it is as well. Although I drive a car, I never take my car into Seoul. It's just far too busy. And with such a good subway system, it's so much easier for me just to take a subway from Incheon and get to Seoul in round about 40 minutes or 1 hour. And it's so much easier than driving or even taking a bus. So obviously there the man was talking about the best way to get round about Seoul. So that's what you're going to be doing for the second part of today's assignment. You're going to write a short answer to this question. What's the best way to get around your city? So the answer could be subway. Maybe your answer is maybe your city doesn't have a subway, so maybe the best way to get around is by bus. Or maybe it's by bicycle, or maybe you live in a small city where the best way to get around is on foot, or there may be another way. Maybe you have to drive, so maybe the only way to get around your city is by car. So you're going to answer the question and try and give maybe one reason or two reasons. So I'm not really looking for a really detailed answer. I just want you to tell me the best way and give a short explanation, maybe 2 or 3 sentences to describe that. Alright, so what have we done today? So we looked at Unit 40, getting around, and we thought about some different ways visitors usually get around the city. We looked at giving simple directions to some popular locations. We saw about the best way to get around in South Korea, in Seoul, the video. And then at the end there, you've just written about the best way to get around your city. So please remember, everyone, to upload your assignment file to the e-learning website. That is everything for today's makeup class. So thank you for listening, everybody, and I will see you all next week. Bye.